Hi there. Today we're reading A Squash and a Squeeze. This one is written by Donaldson, who's the same person who wrote the Gruffalo. And Axel Scheffler did the illustrations and he also drew the Gruffalo. So this is written and illustrated by the same people that wrote and illustrated the Gruffalo. A Squash and a Squeeze. Look at that. Got an old lady in the middle, a cow, a pig, a goat and a chicken. What do you think this book will be about? Let's read and find out. Oh, look at all those beautiful animals. A Squash and a Squeeze by Donaldson and illustrated by Axel Scheffler. A little old lady lived all by herself, with a table and chairs and a jug on the shelf. There she is. Table and chairs and a jug on the shelf. A wise old man heard her grumble and grouse. "There's not enough room in my house. Wise old man, won't you help me, please? My house is a squash and a squeeze." Oh, so she's not too happy because her house is very small. "Take in your hen," said the wise old man. "Take in my hen? What a curious plan!" Well, the hen laid an egg on the fireside rug and flapped round the room and knocking over the jug. Remember, there was a jug on the shelf. The little old lady cried, "What shall I do? It was pokey for one and it's tiny for two. My nose has a tickle and there's no room to sneeze. My house is a squash and a squeeze." And she said, "Wise old man, won't you help me, please? My house is a squash and a squeeze." Oh, look. Let's see what the wise old man says next. "Take in your goat," said the wise old man. "Take in my goat? What a curious plan." Well, the goat chewed the curtains and trod on the egg, then sat down to nibble on the table leg. There he is, nibbling on the table leg. Wonder what the wise old man is planning. The little old lady cried, "Glory be! It was tiny for two and it's titchy for three." The hen pecks the goat and the goat's got fleas. My house is a squash and a squeeze. And she said, "Wise old man, won't you help me, please? My house is a squash and a squeeze." "Take in your pig," said the wise old man. "Take in my pig? What a curious plan!" So she took in her pig, who kept chasing the hen and raiding the larder again and again. Ooh, that word larder, that's another word for pantry. So he was raiding the pantry. The little old lady cried, "Stop, I implore! It was titchy for three and it's tiny for four." Even the pig in the larder agrees. My house is a squash and a squeeze. And she said, "Wise old man, won't you help me, please? My house is a squash and a squeeze." Look, there's the pig still eating the sugar from the pantry, and the goat's starting to eat things from the pantry as well. Oh, and there's the chicken there as well. What will the wise old man say next? "Take in your cow," said the wise old man. "Take in my cow? What a curious plan!" Well, the cow took one look and charged straight at the pig, then jumped on the table and tapped out a jig. Oh, look, there's the cow dancing on the table. The little old lady cried, "Heavens alive! It was teeny for four and it's weeny for five. I'm tearing my hair out. I'm down on my knees. My house is a squash and a squeeze." She doesn't look very happy, does she? And she said, "Wise old man, won't you help me, please? My house is a squash and a squeeze." "Take them all out," said the wise old man, "but then I'll be back where I first began." So she opened the window and out flew the hen. "That's better, at last I can sneeze again." She shooed out the goat and she shoved out the pig. My house is beginning to feel pretty big. She huffed and she puffed and she pushed out the cow. "Just look at my house, it's enormous now." "Thank you, old man, for the work you have done. It was weeny for 5 and it's gigantic for 1. There's no need to grumble and there's no need to grouse. There's plenty of room in my house." Oh, so she's back where she began, but her perception or her thought has changed. And now she's full of frolics and fiddle-dee-dees. It isn't a squash and it isn't a squeeze. Yes, she's full of frolics and fiddle-dee-dees. It isn't a squash and it isn't a squeeze. She looks much happier now, doesn't she? Look at her dancing around her place. And that's the end.